Hello, listeners, and welcome to another edition of Bookie Bashing. Week 17. NFL season is here. Very excited to get at you with this card. As always, I'm your host, Anthony Nikki Jr. Hope you guys had a great Christmas and enjoyed your holiday season. As always, I am sitting alongside my gambling experts. Ace, how you feeling this week?
Tony, I'm great this week. I mean, it was Hanukkah, so how could you be bad? Presents all week. And it was especially good how we got right back on track last weekend with another winning week.
And on my other side, Joey Staxxx. Hope you had a great Christmas. How you feeling?
Had a nice Christmas, Tone. Thanks for asking. I appreciate you asking. Feeling good. We got a nice looking card this week. Looking to make it back-to-back winning weeks and pick up some momentum here going into the playoffs.
Yeah, trying to pick up some steam. Had a nice winning week last weekend. It's crazy. We blinked. NFL season coming to an end. Week 17 is here. Hope you've been riding us the whole way through. We've been running that marathon for you. That is the NFL season. 49-31 overall. We love this Week 17 card. Really, 5 great winners. You can take advantage here at the end of the season. A couple teams have already packed their bags, ready to go home. Then you got other squads still fighting for playoff positioning or even to get into the playoffs. Love this Week 17 card. Going to continue to build on the momentum last week to ride into these NFL playoffs. Don't waste any more time. Let's start them off at the top. Week 17, NFL season.
Philadelphia at New York.
Opening up the final weekend of the regular season with a total plays. We have been hitting at over 85% on the year as far as totals are concerned. Heading out to New York. Philadelphia coming in to take on the Giants. Going to take this one to cruise over that posted total of 53 here. You get a head-to-head matchup. Teams meet twice every year. Big rivalry game here. And in New York, it's going over for the last 5 matchups. It's really the game when the offenses shine and the defenses struggle to stop the opposition. I'm getting a Giants team that in the last 5 matchups has scored at least 24 points in each game. And their secondary, as I continue to say, has been depleted all season. They give up points, but they can score points. Eli Manning and company start to really move the ball around starting in about early November. Odell Beckham becoming a huge force in the NFL. The Eagles' secondary is completely weak. Kerry Williams, Nate Allen, they just need a completely revamped secondary with the exception of Malcolm Jenkins. They will have no chance whatsoever to stop Odell Beckham in this one. I get an Eagles offense that can still score points. They've scored all season. We know Chip Kelly has a high-powered offensive attack. Now we head on the road where the Eagles have gone over in 11 of 16 road games. 6 of 8 games overall and 17 of 22 following a straight-up loss. They just had that devastating loss last Saturday to the Redskins. I know there's no more playoff implications on the line, but I think Mark Sanchez comes out, knows he's fighting for a contract, even if not in Philadelphia, somewhere else. I think he puts up a nice game against the Giants here. Eli Manning also going to have a big game. Take this one to cruise over the posted total of 53.
Yeah, after last week seeing these Washington Redskins torch this Philadelphia defense, and I've been seeing it all season long, this defense has been getting torched every single game. The only thing that kept them in games was that offense, and expect that offense to put up a lot of points again this week. New York Giants defense, nothing to write home about. This is a very vulnerable defense, especially to this Philadelphia attack. Odell Beckham breaking out and having a huge season. Odell Beckham is going to have an absolute game this week against this horrible Philadelphia defense. The Giants offense finally coming together, starting to look a little bit like a team. This is a game where it means nothing for either team other than bragging rights. A lot of points will be scored in this one, so take the over.
Yeah, guys, I don't see how this game isn't an absolute lock. You have Philadelphia that, if you look back on their entire season, has scored at least 20 points in every single game outside of that Seattle game. And then you have the New York Giants, whose offense has actually been looking really good since about mid-November. Both teams absolutely hate each other, and they're going to want to score all day on the other one's pitiful defense. And that's what we have here. 2 defenses that really cost their teams this season. Now, I'm not saying the Giants would have had much of a season if they had a decent defense, but I truly think the defense didn't do them any favors. And talk about defenses that didn't help their team any, the Philadelphia Eagles defense really kept them out of the playoffs this season. I think that both teams are going to be able to torch the other one through the running game and play action passes, and I agree with Joey that Odell Beckham just has a stupidly good day. Take the over, guys.
Yeah, really wanted to start off this week with a total play. We've been so great on the year, Adam, and we got a lock here in the opener as the Eagles going to head to New York, going to get a lot of points in this one. Take this thing to cruise over that posted total of 53. Eagles ultimately get the victory, 34-31 final.
New Orleans at Tampa Bay.
Love the home dog in this one here as we take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers plus the 4 points to get us an upset outright victory over the New Orleans Saints in this one. The public all over the Saints, 65% in the early going. Don't understand why here. These two teams, of course, meet twice every season. And in these matchups, the home team is covered in 5 of the last 7 meetings. And that is in years past where the Saints had a very tough team, a team that was going to the playoffs, making runs at the Super Bowl every year. Now this year, the Saints are 2-5 against the spread in the last 7 games overall, and last week just had a horrible home loss to the Atlanta Falcons, where the offense completely did not show up, caused them to lose any shot at making it to the playoffs, and I think Drew Brees and company has a huge letdown in Tampa Bay this weekend. This is a game that now means nothing to the Saints. I know it's been a tough year in New Orleans, but up until last week, they were still in the hunt to win the NFC South, get themselves a home playoff game, maybe make a dumb little run in the playoffs. Instead, they lose last week. Now they have to head on the road to take on a Tampa Bay Bucs team that they think stinks, that they think they can walk all over. But really, Buccaneers, a young team, and I think that they're going to show up and at least come out and compete a little bit for Lovie Smith and company on Sunday. Make this a tough game. I think it goes down to the wire. I think the Buccaneers ultimately get a victory here. I truly don't think Drew Brees, Jimmy Graham and company show up and have a big day. New Orleans, time and time again this year, has disappointed the public and not shown up in key spots. Why not do it again to end off this season? Take the Bucs as a home underdog, getting the 4 points. They're going to give us an outright winner in this one.
Yeah, I think we got the wrong team favored in this one. Tampa Bay Buccaneers have been playing well. They've been mixing up the running game. Lovie Smith really has this group on lock. I really love what Mike Evans is doing. He's been an absolute superstar leading this offense, and he's going to continue to do that on Sunday. This Saints team is just completely out of whack. Can't play well at home, can't play well on the road. This is a spot where they have to lay 4 on the road. No thank you. I'm going to take them points 10 times out of 10. This is not the Saints team that won the Super Bowl a few years ago. Everybody loves the names Drew Brees, Jimmy Graham, and the public has a clouded image of what this team has done recently. They remember the Saints team winning the Super Bowl. So, hey, we got to take the Saints here, right? Nope, wrong. Take these 4 points with the Bucs as we get the outright victory.
Yeah, guys, despite them being in the division, there isn't that bitter rivalry. So in this game, with both teams having nothing to play for, I'd really like to take the younger, scrappier team, and that's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I love the fact that they're getting 4 points at home. It just screams a value play. Vegas knows that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are really not that much worse of a team. And when you take into account that New Orleans secondary is absolutely horrible this season, I get they're battling injuries, but no excuses. Play like a champion. Tampa Bay's defense has injuries too, and they've somehow been able to get better throughout the season. They're able to get a pretty good pass rush. That's why they held Aaron Rodgers to just 20 points last week. I think that they hold Drew Brees to even less points as they know him a little bit better, and they're able to get a few touchdowns on that piss-poor New Orleans defense. Roll the old Buccaneers here, guys.
Yeah, this game has complete deja vu to me. Last year, the Saints, when they were a better squad, headed into Tampa Bay laying 3 points. Public was all over them. Saints got the win, 16-14. Screwed everybody. This year, same exact spot. Such a letdown spot for this New Orleans team after losing their playoff shots last Sunday. Take the Buccaneers plus the 4 points to get an outright victory at home here, 20-17 final.
St. Louis at Seattle.
Heading out to Seattle, get a little help from the 12th man this weekend as we lay the 13 points at home against the St. Louis Rams. We're going to lay those points all day in Seattle as we love this Seahawks team really starting to step on the gas pedal and show why they were last year's Super Bowl champions. They are absolutely making a run to repeat. I got a Seattle team who comes in having won 8 of 9 games and beating up on opponents. Look what they did to Arizona last weekend when the division title was on the line. Now they come in Sunday trying to get that 1 seed, folks, and don't devalue how important that is this season in the NFC because you do not want to head to Lambeau and have to take on Aaron Rodgers. Seattle wants that 12th man on their side, and I think they get it with a big double-digit victory at home against the Rams on Sunday. Rams come in having gone 1-6 against the spread in the last 7 meetings in Seattle. They've lost 2 games in a row at home to the Giants in Arizona. Now they head on the road for the last game of the year when it means nothing for this Jeff Fisher-led squad. I think the Rams are in some serious trouble here. As this game goes on, this offense is going to lean on them and score points. Last week, Russell Wilson was held in check a little bit, but he still manages to make the big plays when he has to. On the defensive side of the ball, the Seahawks are clicking on all cylinders. I don't think the Rams are going to be able to move this football at all. The Seahawks have not given up more than 14 points in their last 5 games, and in 4 of those those games, they've given up 7 or less points. This defense is clicking on all cylinders. Rams won't be able to move the ball. Seahawks are going to run the ball a lot. That read option going to be clicking. Expect a big day for Russell Wilson and Marshawn Lynch. Take the Hawks to get the big double-digit victory at home in this one. Get the number 1 seed in the NFC.
I absolutely love these Seattle Seahawks. I don't see any way that the St. Louis Rams put points up on this board in Seattle. Not only do the Seahawks have the number 1 overall defense in the league and the 3rd best rushing defense in the league, but they have by far the best pass defense in the league. They are the only team that's giving up less than 200 yards through the air per game. In fact, they're giving up less than 185. And guys, I think they're going to have even a better average after this game. I don't think Shaun Hill gets anywhere near 200 yards. Now, you can look at his recent stats and say that he had a real nice game against the Giants or even a pretty solid game against the Redskins. That's cute, guys. You're in Seattle now. It's a whole nother ball game. Russell Wilson and Marshawn Lynch are going to be putting points up on the board on the other side. And you need to be able to keep up with them somewhat. I know Shaun Hill is going to have no window to throw to, and this Rams offense is going to be absolutely stagnant. If you look at the history since Pete Carroll has gotten there between these two teams, they tend to split against the spread each year. So the fact that the Rams not only covered but won earlier this year just proves to me that we are absolutely getting a winner and more than likely are getting ourselves a cover. So don't be afraid of the large number and bet the Seahawks this weekend.
We got an absolute blowout on our hands this week. I don't see the St. Louis Rams team moving the ball at all. This is a top-tier championship defense, and they are finally playing like it. This Rams offense has failed to produce on the road, and especially in a stadium like this one. The 12th man will be rocking. Marshawn Lynch pounding that football. Russell Wilson has another huge day, and that defense is absolutely shut down. This is an easy one, folks. Lay the 13 points.
Love Seattle and head back home here needing this win to clinch that number 1 seed in the NFC. Defense going to show up, play hard. Offense going to score at will. This is an easy victory, folks. Lay the 13 points here. Seahawks, 38-7 final.
Detroit at Green Bay.
Heading out to Lambeau Field, Green Bay Packers laying the touchdown with the Detroit Lions come in. NFC North title on the line. Going to roll with Aaron Rodgers and this Packers team to get the win when they have to over Matthew Stafford and company. It's just happened time and time again, year and year again. I'm going to take these Packers to continue to do what they do. Green Bay comes in. They've had a stranglehold on the NFC North for years, having gone 37-17 against the spread in the last 54 games overall against the division. Green Bay comes in at home, 33-16-2 against the spread in the last 51 games, 7-0 overall this season at Lambeau Field. I think Aaron Rodgers and company, they know how big of a game this is. They need this division title. They need that first round bye. They fall to a 6th seed and a road game in Dallas next week with a loss here. They absolutely cannot afford that, and Rodgers knows that. They're going to get up for that game. I'm not saying Stafford and the Lions don't know how important it is, but I'm saying Stafford and the Lions fail to show up when they need big wins, whereas Green Bay doesn't. I love that the public on this game, 50-50 split early on. They're seeing Detroit's coming in off of 4 straight wins. Green Bay's had 2 straight tough contests on the road, but Detroit, those 4 wins against below average teams. They've beaten the Chicago Bears twice, Tampa Bay once, and the Minnesota Vikings. Now they head on the road where they've gone 0-4 against the spread in their last 4 road games, 0-6 against the spread in the last 6 games on grass. This is not the friendly confines that Detroit loves to play at in that home dome with the turf. They're heading on the road now to take on a Packers team that's owned them in the head-to-head matchup. 5-2 against the spread in their last 7 meetings overall. Green Bay's also going 4-1 against the spread in the last 5 meetings at Lambeau Field. Green Bay knows how important this game is. Take the Packers to roll in this one. Big day for Jordy Nelson. Big day for Aaron Rodgers. They easily win by more than a touchdown.
I absolutely agree with Tony on this. I don't see any way that the Green Bay Packers don't slaughter these Lions. It's very easy to see a pretty high number in a division rivalry game with not only the division on the line, but a possible first-round bye on the line, and think take the points. But don't get caught up in that. You have to realize that Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to absolutely torch this Lions defense. The last 2 weeks, he's really just gotten cooped up in 2 tough road games with Tampa Bay and Buffalo. I really believe that coming back home to the friendly confines of Lambeau Field with the whole town of Green Bay behind him, he's going to be able to get back to those high-scoring, high-power offensive days. And I don't think that the Lions offense, in what should be a frigid day in Green Bay, are going to be able to really keep up in the long run. This Green Bay defense has played better at home, and the Lions have proved that they're a worse team on the road. They also have shown that they are a more undisciplined team as they average a couple more penalties per game. All of that comes into effect as they get blown out this weekend in Green Bay, take the Packers, and chant, "Go Pack, go."
Yeah, this is a great spot for Aaron Rodgers at home, playing a division opponent here. He's the much better quarterback. They are the much better team. This Detroit Lions team has played good so far. They've closed games that they wouldn't be closing normally in the past. But here we have a top-tier opponent in Aaron Rodgers with his amazing cast of receivers, Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb, two absolute superstars, and Eddie Lacy going to pound that ball. A very dynamic back, a bruiser with a lot of agility. This Detroit Lions team a little bit banged up. The running back situation has been a little shaky. You know, Megatron is really all they got going for him. Golden Tate stepped up a little bit, but against a Packers defense that steps up at home, this is just going to be a spot for them where it's going to be too much, and we're going to be able to lay the 7 points here and get a double-digit victory.
Yeah, I think Matthew Stafford and that Detroit offense going to really struggle in Lambeau Field this Sunday. Take the Packers to lay the touchdown here. Aaron Rodgers and company clinches the division, gets that first-round bye, 27-10 final.
Cincinnati at Pittsburgh.
Coming at you prime time, Sunday night football to end the regular season here at Bookie Bashing as the Pittsburgh Steelers laying the 3.5 points at home to the Cincinnati Bengals. As always, going to play it smart. Don't get beat by the field goal. Buy that hook down to 3. But we think these Steelers have no problem cruising to a victory and the AFC North title in this one. Public split on this game early on as Cincinnati comes in with 2 nice victories against the Broncos last week, in Cleveland the week before. But now they play in Heinz Field where the Steelers have gone 5-2 against the spread in their last 7 matchups head-to-head, 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 home games overall for these Steelers. It's a tough spot for Cincinnati. I don't think they're going to be able to get the job done against the Steelers team that I'm saying right now is one of the scariest teams heading into the playoffs. I got a top 3 receiver in Antonio Brown, top 3 running back in Le'Veon Bell, and a revived Big Ben who is just having a great year. And Roethlisberger's really leading this Steelers team who doesn't have the defense that they used to have when those Steelers were winning Super Bowls. This is a defense that can let up some points, but the Steelers just overwhelm you with scoring. I really think they could go anywhere and score a lot of points. First matchup this year between the Bengals and the Steelers, Cincinnati got smoked 42-21. I think the same kind of thing here. This Bengals defense is going to struggle to slow down Big Ben and company. I get the Steelers, who just played great in December. It's when they start to win. They're 6-0 against the spread in their last 6 games in this month. I love them to show up, get the win that they need to get into the playoffs, and then possibly make some noise in the AFC. Take Mike Tomlin and company to show up on Sunday night, and let's end this regular season with a victory.
Big Ben is playing some of the best football of his career, and it's not going to stop here in Week 17. This is a huge game against the Cincinnati Bengals. They got Le'Veon Bell, the number 1 running back in the game, in my opinion, along with the number 1 receiver in the NFL, in my opinion. Big Ben has the weapons, he has the experience, and this is a guy that can stay as cool as the other side of the pillow in the pocket. Roll out, can't tackle the guy. Love Big Ben, love these Steelers here, going up against Andy Dalton, who is just not a good quarterback. He can get the job done at times, but in a tough game like this on the road, this is not that time. Really, the running game has been carrying this team the whole season. AJ Green's been injured, he's back now, but Dalton can't consistently utilize his target. This is just a Cincinnati Bengals team that doesn't get it done here in a tough spot for the division. So we're going to go ahead and roll with the Pittsburgh Steelers and Big Ben here.
Yeah, guys, Staxxx absolutely hit the nail on the head. This game all boils down to Andy Dalton. And if you ask me, I'm not a believer in Andy Dalton just because he was able to get a victory in Denver on one primetime game. I have memories of him looking absolutely horrible more often than not in big primetime games, especially one where his team really needs a big victory with playoff implications on the line. Now, Cincinnati's in the playoffs, but obviously they'd like to win the division, and I just don't see them being able to keep up with Big Ben and these Steelers. It seems like a weekly occurrence for telling you to bet the Steelers, and how could you not like them? They have one of the top offenses in all of the NFL, and their defense, despite putting up not great numbers, has not only outperformed the Bengals, actually stepped up the second half of the season as James Harrison has come back. I don't know how many acupuncture needles that guy needs to take throughout the week, but whatever he's doing, it's absolutely working. Now, the Bengals are going to try and rely heavily on that running game, like Staxxx said, but they're really going to have problems as that Pittsburgh defense is a top 10 running defense. It actually is ranked 6th if you look at yards per game, and I think they're going to be able to shut down Hill and Bernard a decent amount, to the point that the Bengals are going to need to put it all on Andy's shoulders, and God, do I love that for us. So just absolutely roll the Steelers.
Yeah, going to end this week 17 at Heinz Field with a Steelers squad that I've loved all year. Laying the 3.5 points, as always. Don't get beat by the field goal. Buy that hook down to 3. Love these Steelers to get the job done. Win the AFC North title, 31-20 final. And that will wrap things up for Week 17 and the entire NFL regular season. As I hope you've been riding us the entire way. 49-31 overall in the year. Going to continue to build on that winning record this Sunday and gain a little bit of momentum before these NFL playoffs get going. Absolutely love these games. Leading things off with a total plays. We've hit it over 85% so far this season on totals. Going to take the over in the Philadelphia and New York Giants game as we cruise over that posted total of 53. Eagles ultimately get the victory 34-31 in a slugfest. Then we take it to Tampa Bay as we take those home underdog Buccaneers plus the 4 points with the public all over these New Orleans Saints. I think Drew Brees and company lets down everybody again. Tampa Bay, outright winner, 20-17 final. To Seattle, where the Seahawks play for the number 1 seed in the NFC, laying the 13 points at home to the St. Louis Rams. Just too much power for the defending Super Bowl champions as they lean on these Rams, 38-7 final. Then to Lambeau Field, where the NFC North title is on the line. Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers laying a touchdown. I'll take that all day against Matthew Stafford and these Detroit Lions. They get the job done, 27-10 final. And then we end this regular season at Heinz Field. Pittsburgh Steelers laying 3.5. As always, play it smart. Don't get beat by the field goal. Buy that hook down. But the Steelers offense, too much for these Cincinnati Bengals to handle. They're the better team. They are your AFC North Division champions. 31-20 final. Love these 5 games. I think it's 5 real winners here. We're going to take advantage of this Week 17 card. Continue to build on that momentum. Continue to build on this winning NFL season before the playoffs, and we're going to really crush the bookies through the month of January. Continue to check back here every day as we have NBA and college basketball plays. But before that, let's make some money this weekend. For my gambling experts, my colleagues, Mr. Ace Berg and Mr. Joey Staxxx, I'm your host, Anthony Nikki Jr., hoping you've had a great holiday season. Continue to make money, and we will see you here next time at www.bookiebashingats.com.